So last week we saw quite a few commands here. So head, unique, sort, and tail, WC. Okay, what else? Okay, so I'm going to finish off today on some basic commands, and then I'm going to start VI editor, and we'll see how it goes, okay? So, okay, so there is a command called date. You could use this to display the date. So simply type date, and then what it does is it gives you the date command. Displays the date. Okay, and if you type cal, this will display the calendar. Okay, so you will have, you could actually play around with this here. So it displays the calendar and today's date is highlighted here, okay? All right. And the next command is uptime. What it displays is it displays the uptime of the system. So if I type uptime here, what it does is it will give you, it's been up since last 12 minutes here. And it says 2 users are logged in. Okay, so the reason 2 users is logged in is there is one user root is logged in here, and there is another root logged in here as using the connection, PROTech connection here. We'll go into that a lot more. But let me clear this. So when you type, most of the time you should use uptime command a lot. I use it almost every day here because if you are working on a system and the moment you start to work on it, very first thing you should do is log in and do all that. And one of the first few commands you should do is uptime. And in that way it will tell you that if this is an existing issue or the server has just been rebooted, based on that, you could continue troubleshooting. Okay, good. Now, another easy command is who. So if you type who command, it will give you the information, who is logged in and what kind of connection they have. Okay, that's all it is. Okay? When we're going to do into troubleshooting, all these things will come into place. That way you know what is all this here. There is one command called free-h. So a free command, what it does is, it gives you the memory information here. But I use free-h to see the memory information here, okay? Let me expand this. Okay, so when I type the free-h, it's displaying what is the total amount of memory and how much is being used and how much is still available. And this is other information here. We're going to learn more in the troubleshooting. And then this is a swap. Swap information is, what is a swap? Swap information is a virtual memory. Okay, so what happens is, when system is running low on memory, the old, unused, or inactive processor, it gets moved to the virtual memory here. You guys know what virtual memory is, right? I think if you go into Windows, you go into properties here, right? Or quota. Well, anyway, we'll go deep into what virtual memory is, okay? So this is just the basic command. You're checking how much memory is available. If your system is running slow, you could type this command and see how much memory is there. Okay. So what else? Okay, so there is a command called gzip. What is gzip going to do? It's going to zip the file. Okay, so let's see here, gzip. Zips the file and compresses it. So let's see here. So I have a file here, cook, right? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do gzip and then cook and hit enter. If I do ls-l, you can see the file has been zipped here. The file is zipped here. So what you could do is you could zip this file. Normally, what it does is it will actually reduce the size of the file here. Okay. Okay, good. And it gives you the extension .gz. Okay, and once the file is zipped, you cannot read it. So if I do cook, so a zip file cannot be, it's not readable here. Okay, just remember that. So how do you unzip this? Easy, it's very easy. So to unzip the to unzip the zip file, the command is called gunzip. Okay, I think it should be unzip, but it says gunzip. So if you want to unzip the cook file, so all I have to do is gunzip cook, and I hit enter. If I do ls-l, the file is back to unzipped format. Okay. Okay, and can one of you confirm you could hear me clearly now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Thank you, thank you. Okay, good. So, okay.
Can we read unzip as a G unzip?
What do you mean? You want to read? Okay, once is unzipped, then you could read. So you want to do what do you mean? Cat, something like this? Guns, cook.
No, I'm saying the word is gunzip, but can we say read the word gunzip as G unzip? It's an unzip with the word G.
Yeah, gunzip is like you're gunning the zip files to open it up. It's weird here. All these things, tell you what, if you are a developer, you could create your own command. You could create your own crazy commands and you could write your own crazy commands. And if it gets super popular, then they will include in operating system. But I'm telling you, most of these basic commands, these are since the birth of Unix operating system, okay? And all these are not new. Probably touch, ls is one of the oldest command, very first command, cat, and all these are. Okay, so there are some other commands. Actually, sir, these are built-in commands here. You could definitely download some commands, but let me see if you need to. Did I talk about the which command? Okay. So what does which command do is which command it displays if the command is installed on your system or not. So let me see.
So all the commands should be in the bin folder?
Yes, but I'm going to talk about
Or there should be, I can read it something in bin folder.
yeah. Yeah, I will talk about those each and individual.
Thank you. Thank you.
So there is a command called which. You could type which and then type if you want to find out if the command is available on the system. So if I type which ls and hit enter, that means it says bin/ls, that means command is available. So if I type which gunzip, that means if you're getting the output like this, bin/bin gunzip, that means the command is available. So you use which command to find out if a following command is installed on your system or not. So I want to find out which tar. So there is a command available which is for tar command. So what is the tar command? Tar command is used for this is used for zipping the folders. Okay. So let's say we have a folder here called Chicago. So okay, hold on. Which you know what? Which give me 1 second here. Okay, don't look at this. Okay, so which command you could use it to find out if the command is installed? To find out. Okay, so the correct term here is that it will tell you if a following package is installed or not. Okay, all the commands we are using is also a package. It's nothing but a small software. So, for example, you could run the command. You could run the command which gunzip, and it will give you the output. Output is if you're getting the output bin/gunzip, that means it's installed. Okay, so if you're getting the output, that way you could confirm that you could install this here. Okay, so let's see here. So we're going to work on tar command. Use okay, so let's see here. Okay, I have a folder named Chicago, so I'm going to do tar Chicago. So it's not going to work here. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a switch here. Because to do the folder, you have to make it force. You have to force it. Okay. So you type star hyphen F, then you type Chicago. Uh, Okay, so you have to type tar -f. Okay, then you have to give the folder name. You have to give the Chicago.tar and which folder you want to do it, Chicago. What? Okay, tar-cvf, okay, Chicago.tar. Forwardly refusing to create an empty archive. Okay, so my bad. Here's the format here. You have to give the tar-cvf. Okay, so yes, we'll have to check what C stands for. V is verbose and the folder. And you have to give the name Chicago. And then which folder you want to make it a tar folder. So let's do ls here. So what it did is it copied this folder and then it copied the entire content of this folder into this folder called Chicago.tar. Okay. So let me copy this here.
What is the difference between tar and gzip? Because both comprise the files.
It's for the folder. Tar. Tar is for compressing the folder. I mean, zipping the folder.
Oh, only folder, right?
Yeah. Okay, and to unzip it, so you have to do, there is a command called tar -xvf. Okay, -x means to extract, verbose force, and then Chicago.tar. Okay. So let me just move Chicago. I'm going to rename this Chicago file something else here for a moment here because it's not going to do that. So let's run this command here again. And you see this folder has been unzipped into this folder here. Okay. Okay, so to unzip, all you have to do is XVF. Okay, so now the next command is man. So man is nothing but it's a manual pages. So this is a help pages. Okay. So let's see here. Let me clear this. So what man does is man stands for manual pages. That means the manual that comes the user guide. Manual pages is help information. This is a user guide. So let's do man ls. So this is a manual pages here, okay, for the command ls. So you see here you could type ls-a. So actually it's running ls-all. So you could use either use -a or -ALS. Okay, so it says do not ignore entries starting with dot. So any file that's starting with dot is, what is it?
Hidden file.
Exactly, very good. So -A, that means we saw this ls-a, I ran this command earlier, that means it's kind of telling the system that don't hide anything, okay? So either you could do that, or you could do capital A, so it's going to bring up something like .2, so which is not useful for us. Print octal escape, so there are a lot of things you could do with this command here. Ignore backup, ls-c, so ls- with lt. So what I usually like is that there is a command called ls-h. If you give the command -h, it says it's human readable. Okay, so let me quit this. For example, if you type free and hit enter, right? If you just type the command free, it's displaying you all this information here, like these big numbers, it's not readable. It's not easily readable by humans here, right? So let's go into man free. And here it says -h switch displays all the output will automatically scaled to the shortest whatever, and then that makes the values human readable, okay? So let me quit this. So if I type free and then the switch -h, you hit enter here, so this is more readable here. So this is one of the example here. So if you go into man free, there are other things in here, right? If you use -b switch, displays almost amount of memory in bytes. Okay, so I don't normally use that, but you could see free -b. Okay, now it's even worse. But you will use this information if you're using like some kind of heavy programming or doing some kind of root cause analysis or some kind of deep troubleshooting. You would end up using this here. So what I'm trying to say is it's a manual. It's a reading guide that will tell you all the displays that comes, all the switches that comes with it here. So on the top it has like B, K, M, -G, -H, -O, -S, and then these are all the deeper explanation here. Okay, it says the uppercase V, it says displays the version information. So let's see if we could do that. So it's displaying the version of the free command. Okay, so let's do ls. So ls is a basic command here. If I do ls-l, this is coming with the switch here, right? So let's do man ls. And okay, so this is information here. I want to tell you there is h. We could use h also. That means human readable. Okay, and then there is a lowercase r, that means it's reverse. And then t is like, lowercase t is like sort by time modification. So let's use these two things here. So if I do simple s, this is what I get. If I do ls-l, I get long list here, okay? I do ls-lt. If you do t, that means it's going to sort it by time. So here it says it's sorting it by time here. So the latest time is on the top and then the oldest is on the bottom here, okay? It's sorting by date and time. Okay, so let's do ls hyphen ltr. Okay, so let's see what it does is. So it's doing R means, we read in the manual that R means reverse. So it's doing in the reverse order. So the latest information is on the bottom, and then the oldest information is on the top. And then let's add H. So this is human readable. So over here, this information is like 4096. It's hard to read, right? 4096 is actually 4K. That way you could look at this and say, oh, this is like a silly small file here, okay? So what you have to do is, these are the basic commands here, but if you want to use it any deeper commands with the regular commands, you could go into manual pages and read more about it. Okay? Okay, good. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the redirector. Okay? Give me 1 second here. I'm going to see some commands are installed or not. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. Okay. So in Linux, there is a concept called redirector, and the redirector it has numbers to it. Okay. So let me. Okay, so there are numbers here, okay? There is number 0, number 1, and number 2. Okay, so whenever we are reading a file, whenever we are reading the file, for example, cat, we use the cat command, right? So when you use the cat, and then we're going to read the file 2, right, or file 1. So the cat command, what we are doing is, we are reading that file here, but what we are exactly doing is cat, and then the system is actually putting itself a 0 and then the greater than sign. So what is this called? 0 and greater than sign is called standard input. Okay. I'm sorry. 0, not greater than, less than sign. So if the arrow is pointing 0 and greater than sign, what is happening is we are telling the cat file, where is the input file coming from? Input file is coming from the file 1. So what we are telling the system is cat 0 less than file 1. What it does is it will read file 1. Okay. Which file did we write earlier? I accidentally. Okay, hold on, guys. Okay, so in old days, back in 70s, if you want to read the file, I said to read the file, just do cat file 1, right? And it reads the file here. But technically what is happening in the background is cat 0 and then less than file 1. Okay, it's doing this command in the background here actually. So 0 and less than 5 is called input. It's called standard input. Okay? This is called standard input here. I'm pretty sure everybody should be confused about this, but you will get it. I want to make this nice here so that this is very important here. And this is going to be an interview question, and the interviewer will definitely will ask you. If he doesn't ask you these questions, then the interview is not good for taking interview. Okay. Okay. Let me clear it. And then if we are writing to the file here, right? Earlier I showed in the cat command to read to the file. To read to the file, we use greater than sign. Read the file, and to write to the file, you're using the greater than sign here. Okay, so let me enhance this here a little bit. So the greater than sign, it takes it as a right here. So I showed you the cat command here, but you guys are not ready to understand this, but you are ready now at this moment to write to it. Okay. So what is happening here is when you're using let's cat file 2. Okay, there is something in cat file 2 is there too. But let me do cat greater than file 3. So the file 3 doesn't exist, right? File 3 doesn't exist, I think. So what the cat command also does is if the file doesn't exist, it will create one for you. It will create one for you. Okay, write the file using quick edit mode. Use the quick. And here I want to make a statement here. If the file, if the file okay. If the file exists, it will override it. If the file doesn't exist, it will create one for you. Cat file name, cat is used for reading. Cat greater than is used for writing the file using greater than file. And also, if the file doesn't exist, it will create one. Okay, and then a double greater than sign is add to it. Okay, good. Here. I want everybody to ask me a question here, okay? Because I'm not going to move forward unless it's clear for everybody here, because it's going to be a lot of things are dependent on these basic commands, especially cat command. So if I do cat greater than, and then if I do file 3, it's going to go into quick edit mode, and at the same time, if the file 3 doesn't exist, it will create one for you. Okay, what does touch command do? Touch command just creates the file here. Cat command, if the file doesn't exist, it will create one for you, okay? So if you do ls here, there should be a file name file 3. Okay? Alright. Saeed, please ask me a question right now.
I think I'm good. I understand what you explaining here.
Okay. So, in the background,
We have seen this cat greater than sign to create a file. And what you call the quick edit mode.
so if you're using a greater than sign, this is called standard output. So example is, what is actually happening in the background? This is the command which is running in the background. Cat 1 greater than file 3, file 4. Let's do file 4 here, okay? Cat 1 greater than file 4. What is happening here? It's going to go into the edit mode, creating a file 4 here, okay? So in old days, this is actually what was happening here, but over the years, one is kind of understood here. If you're using less than sign, 0 is understood. The system is actually running this command here. So for this here, the system is running cat 1 greater than file 4. Okay. So what is happening here is we are inputting. What we greater than is we are inputting to the file. So you know what? I think standard output is the standard input. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right. So even the seasoned admins, you got confused here. So okay, so output redirection. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is output, and input is less than. Okay, so the input. Okay, here don't get confused. Input file is you're putting inside. Your input file means you're putting in to read it. Output file is you're putting out. You're putting out the output. Okay, here. I think output I explained you here what output means. Output means is this is the result of a command which is displayed. It could be error. Okay. So input is you're taking the file to read. Output is you're creating a file to put the output on the display into the file here. Okay. So if I do cat 1 greater than and hit enter, this is new file for same as cat. Okay.
Brother Zafar, can I ask a question here, please?
Yeah.
This is, I understand what you're saying, but when we say the redirect and output, this is basically we are typing.
Yeah. What now? I mean, yeah, I'm going to come to that.
How it becomes number one redirect?
I will show you.
If we are saying that these are the old command, okay. And the other thing is this.
I will show you. You have a very, very good question. I was
And so that you type less than greater than. If these were used in 70s. Let me complete my question, please.
Okay.
The question here is that if these less than 0 and greater than 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 have got part of the 70s, why they still ask in the nowadays interviews, because it's understood that if we have the greater than sign, that means this is output. Why they have to ask this question nowadays in interview? Just curious.
It will. Because if you put a greater than sign or less than sign, it will sometimes when you are doing the coding, it will break the code. It is very important, right? I mean, you could easily get confused between greater than sign and less than sign. Okay, so you have to really get into your head that what is greater than sign and less than sign. Less than sign is input, greater than sign is output.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay? So if you do a simple cat file 1, cat file 4. So it's reading the file. You could also do cat 0 less than file 4. It's reading the file here, okay? Standard input, reading the file. Standard output, writing to the file. I think you all are confused here at the moment. You really have to practice all this here to really get this. Okay. And then there is a third one. I think there are more than 3 here, but we'll worry about that. Only 3 at this moment. Okay, so the third one, what it does is this is called a standard error. So if I type a command that doesn't exist, it's giving us an error here. This is an error message. So what is actually happening here is syntax error, unexpected token line here. So no, don't worry about that. So whenever you're getting like unrecognized command here, it will give you an error here, right? So what it's actually doing here is it's running when it finds that error in the background, it's running 2 greater than sign here. I mean, there is no way for me to show you how this is working here. What I could do is, since these are called redirector, so I could redirect this error into the file. Okay, so let me see what I mean. Cat, and then if I type nothing, there is, so I'm going to clear this. I'm going to do cat. So I'm trying to read a file that says nothing here, right? So it says like there is no file, such file and directory here. So what is happening here is, let's see, cat to no, don't worry about that one. So if I'm doing cat nothing, there is no such file and directory here. But what I could do is I could grab this error message here instead of coming up onto the screen here. I could put this into a file. Cat nothing. Then what I can do is 2 greater than error. So error is, I'm just creating a file name error file. Okay, the file error doesn't exist here, right? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to cat nothing. So this is the error message I'm getting. But I don't want to display that message on my screen here, okay? What I want to do is, I want to capture those errors and put it into the file. So how am I going to do that? Cat nothing, and then I'm redirecting the error messages to the file name error. Okay, the file error doesn't exist here. It's going to use, this command is intelligent enough to redirect this to the another file error. If the file error already exists, it will write to it. If it doesn't exist, then it will create one for you. Okay? When I hit enter, nothing should be displayed on the screen here. Okay? But let's do ls here. So it just created a file name error here. So if I do cat 0 and then the file name error, what happens is the error message here, the moment you use 2 greater than, it will filter out the errors and throw that into the specified file. Okay, this is into the file here. So if I do vi error, it's writing in that file name here. Okay. All right. Let me give you a 2-minute break so that everybody go away from the computer and come back in 5 minutes. Okay, please. You're gonna get confused even more. Okay, good. So once we are gonna go deeper in there, you will really understand how this is working here. Okay. So 1 greater than sign, you're writing it. 2 greater than sign, the output, you're capturing the errors. Okay, so when you do cat, nothing.
But Zafar, I would put some gibberish there instead of nothing. Somebody might have a file name called nothing when they're watching this video. So put some gibberish there instead of.
Okay.
And also, if we need to put a number 2, or we're missing number 2.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we're gonna come back to this redirector more, and I want to make sure you guys understand this better. Okay, so the output has been captured into the file name. Okay, good. So now, let's see here. So the next command I'm going to show you is a find. Okay, so it finds the files and directories. So let's see here. Let's do ls. So I'm gonna use the find command to find the file name cook. So I type find and I hit enter and I type cook. So what it did is it found the file name cook in the directory here. But you can use the you don't have to use the you could be in any directory and find and use the find command to find that in any directory. Okay. So let's see here. So you can use absolute and relative path to find the file. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do find. I do pwd, right? So I'm going to do find command, and then I could tell where should I find this. I'm telling that I know this is probably in the root directory, and then what is the name of the file? I'm going to find the name of the file code, and I hit enter. So what it did here is inside the root directory, it searched through all the folders in here. It searched through this folder, it searched through this folder. It went through everything and then found this file here. So this is the output here. So the find command is very powerful. It went into this directory here, and then in that directory, it went through this directory. All these directories are inside this directory here, right? So it did a thorough job of going through each and every directory here, okay? And then finding the file name cook. So it gave you the file name cook here, okay? And this is where it's also there. I think this is a folder, not a file. So it gave you the file name. So let's see here. What will happen if you run this command here? When you run this command here, it's going to go through everything inside the root directory here. It might take a little while. So let me just run it again. So it's going through all these directories here. So running the file command from the /root, just the root, which is the beginning of any directory, is going to go through each and every directory that it has. It might have like thousands of directories in there. So it went there and then find the file name cook.
But Zafar, the question here, so when he finds the file, it brings at the end, or if it finds in any other folder, it will bring in the middle somewhere that I found cook here, or it will display at the end of the.
It displays at the end.
All of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's do. So I'm going to run the command from a different directory here, and let's see what the command, the location is going to be. Okay, so now it says like cook. It cannot find no such file and directory here. So the correct format to run the find command is you have to give the hyphen name. So you go man find hyphen h hyphen t hyphen l hyphen h.
I saw the command just I see the command.
Okay, so let's do, you could do find, okay? So what you're going to do is hyphen name, and then hyphen name is the name of the file, and what is the name of the file? You're looking for cook. So let's hit enter and see what happens here. Now what it did is, it looked for the file name cook in all the directories and gave us the location. So there is a file name cook in here, there is a file name cook in this location, in this location, and in this location, and in this location. Okay?
And here we are starting from the root. Can we start from anywhere, right?
Yeah, you could use absolute or any path you could use. Okay, so it found the file name in this location. So, okay, all right. What is going to happen now?
I think it will find and save the results in the result file.
Exactly.
It will not display on the screen.
Very good, very good. Okay, so everybody, Saeed, if you have any problem the rest of the week, Saeed is the person to call, and he will help you. Because what I'm doing here is, I'm just putting this, what we just learned about redirectors to the use right now. So I'm using a standard output, which is supposed to be showing up on our display here. I'm writing that to the file. And if I hit enter, it went through the result and then captured the results into the file name result. And if you do capture result, and there you go, these are the results here. So the use case is when you are troubleshooting and then you are working with another team here, they want to find out all of a sudden the applications are missing some important files here. So what you're going to do is as an administrator, you will have much more authority. So you could run those commands and then capture that file. And if the file is huge, you're going to use the zip command to zip it and then zip that command and then throw that into the temp folder. Temp folder everybody has access to. Okay, we're going to go over each and every folder when the time comes. But at this moment, these are the basic commands I am highlighting so far. So it's starting to make sense here, right? I captured this and then put it in and zip it and then send it to the application team. Is it making sense now? Okay, good. So there is one more thing called inode. Okay, when you type stat and name of the file, it will give you the status of the file. Okay, so and it also has the inode. Okay, we'll talk about stat now first. This command will show
So what is the links in this stat command? Links equal to 1 or colon 1. What is that mean?
yeah, I'm coming to that. We'll talk about links. If we have time today, I will talk about it, but if not, then tomorrow probably. So the stat command will show file information. Okay, oh, that's not the good. Status displays the results in the. I want to see the journal. Okay, so it displays the stat command displays the detailed information. Okay, so here you could type stat and then the file name. Um, and it shows you the very detailed information. I am not going to talk about that at this moment because we're going to talk about each and everything a little later. Okay, so let's see here. This is the output. Okay, so one particular thing it has is the inode number. So what is inode? Let's talk about inode a little bit. So what is the inode? It is a table on the disk holding file information. So what information it has on it, okay? Okay, so inode, so what information it has? It has the owner's information. Owner of the file. It is holding the information. There is a table on the file holding the information. Okay, so what is it holding? What kind of information you to find out? Owner of the file. Okay, group information. Okay, and it also tell you what kind of type of the file, permissions of the file. Okay, date and time of the file modified. Date and time of the file accessed. Number of links. Okay, size of the file. Okay, and it has a number of links, the size of the file. It has block information. Location of the file. Sitting on the sitting on the disk. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so how do you find the inode of a particular file? What you have to do is ls-i, and then you type the name cook. So it gave you the inode information of this file here. So what you could do is you could use the find command, find from the root, and then -inum, and then give the inode information here. What it's going to do is it's going to run through everything, and then it's going to find the location of the file here. Using the name or using the inode number of the file, it will give you a precise information. Okay, so you do ls-i cook. Okay. Is it clear so far? So we have the stat command here. So what does stat command doing is, let me see if I could, okay, yeah, you could, I think you could run, okay, so when you do stat cook, so this is the inode information here. So inode, there is a inode number there, and also there is a inode information here. So when you type stat, it's giving you the name of the file, and the size of the file is 0 byte. Okay? And then how many blocks it's using? It's using only 0 blocks. And then I said it has the block information of the location of the file which is sitting on. Okay, so here when you see device, this is the location, this is the alphanumeric location of the file which is sitting on the hard disk. Okay, and these are the permissions. This is a whole, permissions are whole big chapter here we're going to cover in deep. And then this is the access information, when it was modified, when it was changed. Okay. So let's see here. This was, I think when it says modified, it means this is when it was created. Okay, when it was last accessed and when it was last changed. Last change was today. So, and here's the time. 11:26:15 seconds, and it has like milliseconds up to 1 milli, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it is going up to the billionth of a millisecond. Okay? You think of why is this so important here? This number here, billionth of a millisecond. This is really important when the system. This is really important for the financial systems. For example, if there is a stock market going on, stocks are going up and down. This information is captured when the stock went up and down. This is really important for the financial industry. Okay, so.
So, Zafar, the question here, it says blocks is equal to 0, then says the IO block 4096.
Yeah, these are IO block 4096 is, so I'm going to briefly describe this because when our file is created, when we do fdisk command, we could set the block size here. The minimum, even though the file size is 0, it is still using 4 kilobyte of size of the disk. The reason being is that's the standard is being used. So if the file size is even 8, unless it reaches that size here, the size on the physical disk it's using is only 4K. Because it still need to hold some information here, so it's using 4 kilobytes. So this is the actual size of the file is 0 kilobyte. Let's do cat cook. Nothing in there, right? So I'm going to put some information in here. Oh, by the way, what is this cat file 1? What is this here? Cat file 1 here, right? When I do cat file 1, the output is on that screen here, right? Now what's going to happen? Yeah, you got it. Say it. So what is happening here is the cat command is reading the file and then this is what it displayed here. Now we are telling it to don't display on the screen, put it into the file name cook. This is where the redirector comes here. Standard output. Instead of putting the standard output on the screen, we are telling the system to do standard output on the instead of telling when we did this cat file 1, it put it on the screen, right? And when we do greater than sign, no, don't put it on the screen, put it into the file name cook. So when I do cat file, cat input file cook, so the output of the file it went into the file name cook. Okay, I know you're confused here, but that's expected here. So let's do start cook. Okay. So the size has increased to 8 bytes, but still using a 4 pure kilobytes. So until it reaches more than 4,000, it's going to stay at 4 bytes here, the block size. But the size is now for 8 bytes here. So you do ls-l. You could do ls-l for the particular file also. You don't have to do it for the folder. So there is a file name here, cook, right? So we do ls-i cook. So each and every file has its own unique. It has its own unique inode number. Okay, so if we try to look for the inode number for this file here, which is located somewhere else, so you do ls-i, and then I'm using the absolute part to look for the inode number for that file name cook. So you can definitely see, even though both files are named here, this number is like a fingerprint. So these two files could be same exact files, twins. These two files could be twins here, but this is a fingerprint that makes them separate here. So if I do find command, and then I'm finding it from the root, and then I'm going to give inum, and then the inode number. So it's going to go there and it's going to find the exact file. It's going to find the exact file name, cook here. So when I run this command, these are the errors, right? Now can I redirect those errors? I'm going to redirect those errors to the file name error. I'm going to do 2 greater than sign. So what's going to happen is, it's going to add to the file name error already. Okay, so let me see. So there is one line in here, but if I run this command here, it's going to keep this line and add more, and it's going to add this error line to this file name error here. So let me hit enter. So it is, now you see that it has, instead of displaying 5 lines of error, what it did was it gave you only the good information and then filter out the errors into the error name, file name error here. That's what this redirector number 2 comes in. 0, 1, 2. These are very important. So if I do cat error, so I'm going to see the 4 lines, and then I'm going to also see this line too. Whatever line that was there already in that folder. Okay, so it kept the original line and it added the errors to here. So where is this greater than 2 sign coming here? When I showed you about the cat sign. Okay, here you're using the cat 2 greater than file name. It will add to the file. If you just do 1, it will overwrite. Okay, I think I covered too much for today. So let's see. WC. Okay, this is where we started. Date, left hand free, zigs and zip down, which man find start. I know. And a redirector. Okay. There are some more commands I'm going to cover tomorrow. Please don't miss tomorrow's class. It's as important as today. And use the chat to ask any questions and please help each other out. I'm seeing a lot of you guys are asking questions and helping each other out, which is what I exactly want. Okay? Thanks for joining and then we'll catch up tomorrow.
Thank you.